If Tony got it, I think if Tony Stewart did a podcast, he would kick Dale Jr.'s ass right now with the quality.
Do you think so? Do you think a perfect? Hold on, now we're thinking big picture. Do you think a talk show? You know how Dale Jr. is him and that Mike guy or whatever. What's his name? His PR dude. You're saying a show because Dale Jr. don't do a show on his own. It's himself and then the other sidekick guy. Are you
Yeah,
saying that if me and Tony Stewart started a show, me and Tony,
I
like I'm the
I think it would
sidekick, let
be
Tony talk about
real.
whatever. I mean, I got a name. I'm coming from the dirt world. They're graduating me, whatever, just like Larson and Corey Day. I'm graduating now. They're going to bring me on. Well, I'm just saying, in this Illuminati, we're talking about how the Illuminati works. But regardless,
Yeah,
you're saying if
I
me and
think it
Tony
would be
Stewart,
awesome.
think about this. If me and I nicknamed it Smoke Show, that sounds like a hell of a good name for a show, actually. The Smoke Show. That would be the new name of the show. I'll change. I mean, I'm the Chaz. I don't have a show. I just go live on my channel. But we have this new show called The Smoke Show. And it's Tony Stewart and me, just like it's Dale Jr. and
All
his guy.
things, all things dirt. You gotta do like all
No,
things
all
dirt. I
things.
think
All things. No, the thing
all things.
the thing that ruins a show, the reason I did my topics I did tonight, the thing that ruins a show is that it stays in a demographic. You have to do demographic work. Like I talked about Bubba Wallace and Larson. I didn't talk about no outlaw or high limit shit because they didn't race. Everybody rained out. You have to talk about the perfect talk show is like Joe Rogan. And for those who don't get what Joe
Yeah,
Rogan does, Joe Rogan is very workout, UFC, fighting, mixed martial artists, diet. Those are his bases to every show. He brings those things up some way or another every show and talks about them. That is the perfect show where if it's me and
so
Tony Stewart, yeah, something happened in the racing world, we talk about it. Something happened here, we talk about it. But if something happened in the football world, we talk about it. Something happened in the political world, you talk about it. Something happens, period, you open up the doors to all avenues of an audience when you do that.
yeah, the show would kill it.
It
So he'd
would,
pretty much be like Pat McAfee with Tony Stewart and you.
yeah, yeah. Except in a way, I'm bringing a little clout. I'm not bringing nothing to the table. I feel like Pat McAfee and his sidekicks were nobody. Like McAfee was the guy, but the other people, who are they?
No, I was saying like in that genre where it's like buddies talking type deal, where they're talking about the
Yeah.
topics and then buddies are. That's where more. I wasn't saying that you were a nobody. I was saying
No,
like
and
you were like.
honestly, I am. If I people, there's millions of people who know who Tony Stewart is. What? There's maybe 100, 200,000 that know who the Chaz is. So in reality, that it would be true. I would be a nobody in
And
that scenario.
you guys, hear me out. You guys do it like let's just say twice a week. One of
I
the
think we
shows
do
is just
one
you guys to talk about everything. Oh, just once a week
or
even?
maybe
That would work
two.
still too.
Well, go ahead, explain what
'Cause
your
I was gonna
two
say
would
you
be.
have
I want to
one.
hear your explanation. I'm
One
sorry to
would be
cut you
like
off.
everyday bullshit. Everyday bullshit. Like you guys saw a stupid story and you guys just want to talk about how ridiculous it is with the story, like something like that. And then the other episode, you guys bring on a dirt track guy. Like you guys will bring on like Carson Macedo. Donnie can come on from time to time.
Right.
Kyle Larson can come on
Actually,
from time to
and what you're
like
talking
an
about,
interview episode.
is actually perfect. And that's where you bring,
Yeah.
instead of like NASCAR with Dale Jr. bringing all these old NASCAR people and making them famous, we bring in Sammy Swindell. We bring in a Carson Macedo. We bring in a Ricky Thornton Jr., a Jonathan Davenport. We start putting, that's how you jump. Okay, so when they say, Chaz, why would you put this person on your platform? So in a weird way, I've told people this. I don't play video games much anymore because this is this has become like my video game. What I do here,
Yeah.
this is what I do. This is the game I play. And in this game, there's like platforms that you jump instantly. So like I have my platform, but then there's other platforms that are higher. And so you jump up these platforms, like Tony Stewart being on the show technically jumped me a couple platforms because people who know Tony Stewart on his platform all of a sudden started paying attention to me. So in a way, I didn't put Tony Stewart on my platform. He put me on his. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes perfect sense, actually. That makes perfect sense.
So that's
Tony
really
Stewart raised you up, not you raised Tony Stewart up.
So
Whereas,
obviously, I built a platform on my own. I did it my way. I didn't sell out, and that carries a lot of respect, I think, with people. That's why we got some high-profile people who watch and pay attention because they respect it and they see the hard work. So if me and him was to do something on a regular basis, like you're saying, and we start kicking some ass up here, like I said, we ain't going to interview Max Verstappen. No, we're going to get people on that platform that deserve it, like Jack Hewitt, like this guy or that guy, and they got all these stories, and they got their own opinion of what's going on here recently, so.
Well, and one of your things I know you always talk about is, like, with the dirt track side, we don't, like, they're not, like, household name. Like, Kyle Larson's a household name. We're trying to get our dirt track guys to be household names.
Right? And this is a way to do it.
Then everyone's gonna be like, like how, like, remember when we were kids and like you grew up the same time I did, and when we would shoot the ball, you'd say Kobe. You know what I mean?
Look at this.
Because
hold on. Look at this. Name. Let me boil it down for you. Look at this. If say what is it? We had him on the show next Wednesday. If this Wednesday was me, Tony Stewart, and Cody Jacobs on a show, everyone's tuning in. Because we already built that rapport with Cody talking shit, and said he would knock him out and all this stuff. And now we're going to have the man we talked to, who's this bad motherfucker that knocks everyone out. We're going to have him on the show now with Tony and me. Dude, I'm just saying, that would be huge. How many people would watch that? The live numbers would destroy the last show. It would make it so much bigger.
Yeah, for sure. And Tony brought it up well on the interview, too, with you not selling out, how he respects you for that.
Well, and I see, honestly, long term, I see if me and Tony was to do things on the regular, I see me and him being more like me and Broke Joe. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but there's going to be some times where I'm going to really disagree with Tony Stewart. And I got to say, and I think he's got it in him
because you got to say it how you feel it.
I'm just saying, I figure when you trigger smoke a little bit, he's going to switch. He's not going to be so calm anymore. He's going to be pissed. You're going to see a pissed off Tony Stewart when you disagree with him to the degree I might on some topics. I'm just saying. So you've seen that switch with Joe when we're just sitting here talking, and all of a sudden I'll say something and disagree to the point, and then he'll switch and he'll start making his comments. You piece of shit, fuck you, or whatever, degrading my life or whatever. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
We've seen Joe switch like that on the show live. I'm just saying.
You bring up Tanner Holmes and Joe is just a different person.
Right, and you defend Tanner at all, or you say anything good about him, It's crazy. But there's going to be those topics with Tony. I think we can make it through, but it will definitely get intense. So I think that would be a good element as well, to see a pissed off Tony Stewart going off about something NASCAR did. Not some calm person who's just describing it. Somebody who's actually like, I'm passionate about this and I have something to say. Because I think that's why when people get a little louder in a video, people resonate with it, because it's like, damn, that matters to that dude. Why is he so, even if it ain't aggressive, why are you getting loud? Like that, what the hell are you talking about? That must be a big deal.
Well, that's part of the reason why, like, I'll listen to Shannon Sharp and like Ocho Cinco every once in a while on their show.
Oh, they get to going at it.
Dude, and that's all. I love it because of that, especially during football season when Shannon Sharp starts being passionate about something. It's fun. And I feel like Tony Stewart would be just as fun.